Hey there everybody, I thought I would give an update on the channel and what's upcoming in the next month or so. As everybody knows, the last few months I've been doing videos on tabletop baseball games to honor baseball movies, and I had a lot of fun with that, but I'm kind of run out of movies to do right now, so I'm going to have to pick a different theme going forward. Last game I did was a jump off from that theme by doing the so-called toilet bowl between the 88 Orioles and the 62 Mets. Now I was thinking about what I can do for the month of May and going forward, or at least for the near future. And I thought about it since the NCAA basketball tournament was so thrilling, coming down to the end with Villanova hitting that last second shot to beat Carolina. I thought maybe I can do something along those lines. So instead of March Madness, I'm going to have May Madness. And what May Madness is going to be a 32-team tournament using Strat-O-Matic. And it's going to be a single elimination tournament, bracket style, just like the NCAA tournament, to pick a winner. And I'm taking the best teams that I have available on the card sets that I own, as well as the PC seasons I own. And I created a little tournament. And what I may do is end up doing a video of one game from each of the rounds. Maybe people watching that, if you see the matchups and one piques your interest, shoot me a message or leave it in the notes in the comments down below, and I will see about making sure that particular game gets played on the video. So to show you what seasons I have to work with and where the pool of teams are coming from, I'll go ahead and bring this out in front of me here. I'm limited on the card sets just on what I have, obviously, although I have quite a few. I didn't realize I had this many until I sat down and started writing them down. But anyway, I've got these are Strat-O-Matic cards, all in the advanced version. I have the 41 and 61 sets, 67, 71, 73, 77, 83, 84, 88, 90, 91, 93, 2000, 2001, 2014, 2015. And also have single team cards for the 27 Yankees and 53 Dodgers. These two card sets are in basic only. So in the first round of the tournament, they're going to be playing each other since it's basic against basic. A lot of these sets are no longer printed by Strat-O-Matic. Give a shout out to Chris over at Moonlight Graham, his website. It was very wonderful to deal with, reasonably priced, and compared to what I saw on eBay and so forth. So encourage you, if you're looking for some old complete sets or just some old teams, just Google Moonlight Graham Strat-O-Matic and his site will come right up. Send him an email and he'll set you up. All right, so those are the card sets I have. I also have 6 other seasons that aren't with these card sets. They're different from these card sets on the computer. And they are the 1975 season, 79, 82, 86, 02, and 2013. So those are the seasons I have to choose from. And what I've done is to try to make it a little bit easier is I've split the 32-team field into 4 individual brackets. And one bracket I have is called the PC bracket. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the top 8 teams that I could find from these seasons and playing them on the PC against each other. And then what I'll do is I'll get one winner on the PC, and then when it comes time to play the ones with the cards and dice, I'll use the card imaging from that particular team and just have to have the computer up in front of me to be able to play that against the team with the real cards. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the teams that I have selected. This is not scientific, just going by feel and whether they won the World Series or not, or if they had a particularly good record, even if they didn't win the World Series. So what I've done, and to keep in the theme of the NCAA tournament, in the last few years they've always had what they call play-in games in Dayton, Ohio. So I figured my tournament should be no different. So I did have one play-in game, and the play-in game that I chose was, and I didn't list it here, 1947 is another PC set that I have. So I used the 1947 Jackie Robinson Dodgers against the Moneyball 2002 Oakland A's, and that was a play-in game. And as you can see, they beat the 47 Brooklyn Dodgers in the play-in game. That's Oakland over here, so I've got an asterisk by them to say that they won the play-in game, and they now have the right to play the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals. So that's one of the first-round games is St. Louis and Oakland. We've got the We Are Family Pittsburgh Pirates, led by Willie Stargell and company, against the David Ortiz-led 2013 Boston Red Sox, world champions, against world champions. Then in the next bracket down, we have the 1986 Mets, led by Dwight Gooden, Darryl Strawberry and company, against Harvey Wallbanger's 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. And then in the final bracket, we have the 1975 Boston Red Sox, led by Fred Lynn, also led by Louis Tiant. And I'm actually going to allow Jim Rice to play this time. Since he didn't get to play in the World Series, he will play in this tournament. And they'll be going against Earl Weaver's 1979 Baltimore Orioles, led by Eddie Murray, Lee May, Jim Palmer, Mike Flanagan, and so forth. So those are going to be the 8 teams that I'm going to play on the games on the PC, and eventually get to what I call a PC bracket winner, and that's what I'm going to have going forward. Probably won't do a video on those because most people don't find, at least I don't find, watching a game on the computer to be all that entertaining. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do to get those PC seasons involved, because I really wanted to use some of these better teams. All right, so now we'll go to the actual brackets for the cards and dice games. And I've already mentioned the first matchup, and that's the 1927 Yankees, led by Gehrig and Ruth, against the 53 Brooklyn Dodgers, led by Roy Campanella, Jackie Robinson, Pee Wee Reese, and others. The winner of that game will be playing the winner of the next game, and that's going to be the 1961 Cincinnati Reds, led by Frank Robinson and Vada Pinson, against the Bash Brothers 1988 Oakland A's. So the winner of that game will be playing the winner of the Brooklyn and the Yankee game. Now, since these are just in the basic, what I'm going to have to do is play the winner of this game. Will have to play them in the basic as well, just to keep it fair. And we will be using a DH throughout the tournament. No matter who the teams are, they will have a DH. So don't have to worry about pitchers hitting in this tournament. Okay, so that's the one quadrant there. The next game is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates of Roberto Clemente, and they'll be facing the Joe Carter and Roberto Alomar-led Toronto Blue Jays. So World Series champion against World Series champion on that one. The winner of that game will be playing the 1967 St. Louis Cardinals, led by Lou Brock, Bob Gibson, Bill White, and Curt Flood. And they'll be facing the 1983 Baltimore Orioles, led by Cal Ripken Jr. and Eddie Murray. So that completes the top bracket. I was going to call it the Ruth bracket, but I wasn't sure what kind of name to give it. But those are the 8 teams in that bracket that will eventually make it to the Final Four. But these are all games to get to the Sweet 16. Okay, we start the next bracket. We have the Big Red Machine, 1975 Cincinnati Reds, and they'll be facing the 2001 Seattle Mariners, who I believe won 116 games that year, even though they did not make the World Series. I just thought any team that won that many games should be included. So you've got the Powerhouse Reds, led by Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, and Pete Rose, against the Ichiro Suzuki-led Seattle Mariners. Don't forget, Ken Griffey was not on that team. He had gone to the Cincinnati Reds at that point. So the winner of that game will be playing the winner of the 1969 Baltimore Orioles, runners-up in the World Series, led by Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, and a cast of others, against the 2000 New York Yankees, led by Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, and Mariano Rivera, among others. And they will play the winner of the Seattle-Cincinnati game. In the next block, we have the 1988 Los Angeles Dodgers, led by Kirk Gibson and Oral Hershiser. And since we're using the DH, Kirk Gibson will be able to play, even though he was injured. He's going to play in the World Series, or in this bracket, I should say. He will be the DH in that game. And they'll be playing the 1961 New York Yankees, which also, of course, there was no DH back then, but there will be a DH this time. So the M&M boys, Maris and Mantle, and Johnny Blanchard, who was the pinch hitter quintessential on that team, will probably be the DH, or it could be Yogi Berra, depending on how the lineups work out. And the winner of that game will be facing the winner of the Miracle Mets of '69, led by Tom Seaver, against the Jack Morris-led Detroit Tigers. And that finishes up that bracket. So you got those 8 teams in that bracket. I was going to call it the Sparky bracket, since the Reds are there. And the winner of that will make it to the Final Four. Starting the third bracket, we have the 1991 Atlanta Braves, led by Bobby Cox, and in this case, actually, it's Terry Pendleton was the MVP of that team. And, of course, they had Smoltz and Glavine. No Matic yet, just Smoltz and Glavine, and Steve Avery. And they'll be playing the Reggie Jackson-led Bronx Bombers, 1977 New York Yankees. And the winner of that game will be playing an intriguing matchup between the 1990 Cincinnati Reds, the Nasty Boy bullpen, and the 2015 Kansas City Royals, who also have their own version of a nasty bullpen. So that could be very interesting, bullpen against bullpen. And that's why I put those two teams together. So the winner of that game, whoever survives that, will play the winner of the Yankees and the Braves. Next game is going to be the 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks, led by Curt Schilling and Randy Johnson. And they'll be facing the Reggie Jackson, Bert Campanera, Sal Bando, Jim Catfish Hunter-led Oakland A's of '73. Winner of that game will be playing the winner of the 1941 New York Yankees, led by Joe DiMaggio, and the 1991 Minnesota Twins, led by Kirby Puckett. So there you have those 18 brackets right here. And I wasn't really sure what to call that. I was going to call it the Finley bracket, since Charlie Finley was the owner of the Oakland A's, so I might call it the Finley bracket. So there you have it. Those are the lineups of the 32 teams that are going to be in there, both PC and card and dice. And so I've got 16 games to play, 12 with the cards and dice and 4 with the PC to get to the Sweet 16. So what I thought about doing maybe is picking one of these games and playing it out in a video format, and then just giving the results on the other games at the end of the video, or actually probably the beginning of the video. And I was going to either just pick a game, or if anybody had a particular matchup they really, really wanted to see, let me know, and I'll see about getting that one on there. All these games, like I said, are going to be the DH version. And also, each team is going to be required to use different starting pitchers. So in other words, the 88 Dodgers cannot use Oral Hershiser every game. They can use him against the Yankees here, against Maris and Mantle. But if they make it to the next round to play this game, they're going to have to use a different starting pitcher, whether it be Tim Belcher or Fernando Valenzuela or someone else. And then if they make it to the next round, then Hershiser would be eligible to come back. So you can't just ride one hot pitcher. Now, the one team that might have an advantage is the 01 Arizona Diamondbacks, because they had Schilling and Randy Johnson. So they could have, say, Schilling pitch the first game here, and if they win, they could have Randy Johnson pitch here, and then come back with Schilling here, and then come down to Randy Johnson here. So they could keep that going all the time. So anyway, that's my plans, calling it May Madness. And then we'll see how that turns out and how much fun it is. Hopefully it's going to be fun. I think it'll be fun. Be something different. Everything, of course, will be Strat-O-Matic, because that's all I have the seasons for. I don't have a whole lot of seasons under other games, just mainly Strat-O-Matic. So that's what I'm going to be using. And advanced rules, or advanced options where we're using lefty-righty splits, except for the first round game, of course, up here being basic, because that's all the cards are for. So just thought I'd put that out there and see what everybody thought. That'll be coming up, like I said, in May. What I may do towards the end of April is go ahead and play some of these PC games, the first round of the PC games, to fill that part in. But then for the first week of May, or maybe the tail end of April, probably the first week of May, I'll pick a game in this region here to play out. Just looking at the matchups right now, the couple that really seem to stick out to me, seem to be very interesting to me, is that Kansas City and Cincinnati game, just because of the bullpen matchups. And aside from that, I also think it'd be interesting to see how Oral Hershiser does against Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle and that big lineup for the Yankees in '61. And just two really good teams. The Pirates and Toronto is another interesting matchup. But I think they're all interesting to a degree. And that's the best teams I could come up with to pick. If you think maybe I left somebody out. One team I did leave out that I just didn't have room for, and I really wanted to add them in, was the 1967 Boston Red Sox, the Impossible Dream season. It was between that and the 75 Red Sox, and I just thought the 75 Red Sox were a better team, so that's what I used there, and I didn't really want to leave anybody else out from this representation, so just ran out of slots. So they could have gotten in. Maybe they should have gotten in the play-in game instead of the 47 Brooklyn team, but that's just the way it worked out. And so I will keep everybody updated as time rolls along. Right now we're still in the middle of April, so I'm going to be doing between the time I start this tournament, I'm going to be probably doing something with replay baseball just to break up the monotony, and then get ready to go full board with Strat-O-Matic. So I hope everybody will follow this and give their opinions, and any games they really want to see a video on, let me know. And if I don't hear anything, I'll just pick one and put it out there and give a recap on the other games as well. If I have time, I'll try to do 2 of these games in the first round and do videos for them, but as you can see, it's a lot of games to play there, so playing 12 Strat-O-Matic games in 1 week is going to be a tall task, so to have to do videos on them would be even longer, so we'll see how it goes. I appreciate everybody who watches the channel, and particularly those who subscribe. I can't believe I have over 100 subscribers. That just blows my mind. This whole channel thing has just been a whim. Watching other video channels with baseball games on it, I just kind of just did it as a whim just to see how it would turn out, and then I just had so much fun with it I kept going. So hopefully everybody's had at least a minimal amount of fun watching me have fun myself, because to do all these videos is a whole lot of fun for me, and I really enjoy it. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful day and gets ready for May Madness.